The medicine man can only say, look, those who are sticking with the principles, come with me. And you get up out of here long before. What's up, my brother?
How you doing, sir?
Yeah, what you got in the bag?
I got some things. I got some things.
You got in the bag? What you got in the bag?
No, I can't just see.
So slavery. Now let's just come back to that real quick. According to American history, the first 20 Africans get off of a Dutch ship on August 20th, 1619. First African slaves get off a Dutch ship, 1619, Jamestown, Virginia. That's the official report. And that is a lie. Here's what really happened. First of all, let me show you where to get the lie first, and I'll show you where to get the truth. The lie is on PBS. PBS special no, that's Eye on the Prize. Sorry, it's
Nova?
No, the Underground Railroad by PBS. It's a PBS special called the Underground Railroad. That's where that comes from. In the Underground Railroad, they let you know that the first 20 Africans arrived August 20th, which is my birthday, by the way. August 20th, 1619. That's the official report. Now, here's the truth. Where do I get the truth from? There's a gentleman named Keith Tucker, who is a member of our society, the Temple of Hip Hop, and his father, John Tucker. I'm sorry, his uncle, John Tucker, gives me this information. Hear now the truth. The Tuckers were the first African American family on American soil. The Tuckers. Notice the language I'm using, African American. Africans been in America since America's been in existence. But this new breed of African who is into commerce, trade, travel, very intelligent, very rich. The Tuckers. Captain John Tucker, I'll just say Captain Tucker, in 1619, is not a Dutchman on a Dutch ship. He's actually coming from the Caribbean with 20 wealthy Africans on their way to Europe. Tucker owns the ship. Black man navigating the ship by the stars. Owns the ship. 20 people on board. It wasn't just 20 people, it was 20 men. Their families accompanied them, so there must have been easy almost 100 people on board. The ship runs aground. Bad weather in Virginia pushes the ship to the Virginia coast. The ship breaks down. They get off at Jamestown, Virginia. They're greeted by whites there, who welcome them into their homes, give them something to eat, treat them as human beings. The Tuckers and the Johnsons, who were also on the ship, loved the treatment of Virginia so much that they wind up staying and buying land. The Johnsons bought land. The Tuckers bought land. And any landowner had to have slaves. So you have black folk owning black, white, and Native American slaves. Not indentured servants, slaves. The Johnsons had slaves, the Tuckers had slaves. Slavery was not what it is in American history. It was the way things got done. It's the way things got done, which is what my beef is with Senator McCain and Barack Obama asking the American people for volunteerism. Volunteerism is slavery. If you work and don't get paid, what the hell are you? At the end of the day, America in its early birth, as all nations do, you need slaves. You need people who are willing to work and not get paid. All nations need that. But the difference between slavery and statesmanship is when you've worked and now you get a vested interest in what you've worked on. Then you're not a slave, you're a statesman. You've given your life to your country. McCain, country first. But that's not what volunteerism is today. Today, you don't need volunteerism in a rich country. That is a contradiction. If a rich country asks you to volunteer for it, they're asking you to join slavery. Now, if Haiti asks for volunteership, you can believe that's true volunteerism. If a country that is clearly under siege and needs help asks you for your free service, then you're obliged to, according to your principles, you give it up or not. But if a wealthy nation who has money to spend on everything except you, for the leadership of that country to say, now we need the American people to volunteer. You've given Iraq billions, and you're going to tell your own family to work for free? I can't, I don't know, maybe I'm just too stupid. And that's just, I will accept that. My ignorance, I cannot see, my ignorance prevents me from seeing the logic in that. I will even say that. Maybe there's some new knowledge that I don't know, that I am not getting. But the last time somebody asked me to work for free, okay, they were questioned on what's going to happen with my free service. Now, America did have people who worked for free at the beginning. All nations need that.
By choice?
By choice. By choice. But now, let's go into that word choice. 1776. 59 signers of the Declaration of Independence. 27 of them are men of color. 29 are white. Men of color meaning Native Americans and black Africans, already living in the United States, already living. Who's the Native American tribe that already lived the Constitution? The Iroquois.
The Iroquois is they had the Six Nation Confederacy. They had basically democracy set up with 3 branches of government, a judicial system, Supreme Court, an executive branch, and what was like a House of Congress, representatives from each representing the peoples. So it was democracy here. Thomas Jefferson, Thomas Paine, the founding fathers, Ben Franklin learned about democracy through the Native Americans.
Exactly. And that's why they were called niggers when they went back to Europe. Oh, I'm sorry, Americans.
Same difference.
Same thing.
Same thing in the 1700s. You was called a filthy American because you went with the the Iroquois and them blacks and Asians. You was called that when you got back to Britain. Now, the spirit of 1776 is hip-hop spirit today. When you read the books, when you read the diaries, when you compare the notes of historians, American history goes like this. White, black, Native American, or Iroquois, Cherokee, etc., go over to the West Coast, Mayan, all that. They all got together and figured it out years in advance and said, look, we got to get it together. Democracy. Everybody going to decide in this society and you're going to have responsibility and blah, blah, blah. Now, they already had that popping and going, and slavery was part of that. So now you have what happened was not racism or the institution of slavery. We got to enslave these black folk and make them work. It was a class issue. This is classism. There were blacks, Native Americans, and whites that were knowledgeable people and had money, and they owned slaves. Yes, African Americans owned other African Americans. To go even further, This is American history. The Florida, North Carolina, New Orleans, and Louisiana.
Louisiana Territory.
What was called the Louisiana Purchase. That whole thing, from Florida to even really the whole basin of the United States, but I'm going to specifically stop with the Louisiana Purchase. Florida, South Carolina, Mississippi, and New Orleans is controlled by the French. The French have what is called the African Bourbon monarchy, is controlling that whole area, and Napoleon's soldiers are the ones guarding it, protecting it.